This morning, floating an idea to connect millions of Americans to the internet. According to the Federal Communications Commission, about 19 million Americans, or 6% of the U.S. population, does not have access to broadband service that allows them to connect to the internet. The Biden administration's Infrastructure Act has allocated $65 billion to fix that. But in New Mexico, one man isn't waiting. He's launched his own solution to bring the internet to hard-to-reach places. John Blackstone has the story.
In Roswell, New Mexico, the launch of an enormous silver airship doesn't have the roar of a rocket. But in Mission Control, Chief of Operations Stephanie Luongo finds plenty of excitement in what's being tested.
I like the idea that we're going to change the world and we're going to revolutionize Earth observation and providing broadband to the underserved.
This test flight is an attempt to show that a big balloon can do things that rockets and satellites can't do.
We are going to disrupt the satellite industry once we get this operational.
Inside its hangar before the launch, the huge aircraft towers over everything and everyone. But please, don't call it a blimp. Is this a blimp?
This is not a blimp.
Mikkel Vestergaard and his company Sky designed and built it.
So this is a stratospheric aircraft. We refer to it as a HAPS, High Altitude Platform Station. And the purpose of it is to go to the stratosphere above 60,000 feet, so above the controlled airspace, and stay over an area of operation.
Vestergaard's high-altitude platform station is meant to float in a fixed position in the stratosphere, above where airplanes fly, but far below where satellites orbit. This aircraft will go up and basically hang in the air over one spot on the Earth.
Absolutely. So we are filled with helium for the lift. We have solar panels on the top side of it. We have batteries on the bottom, and we use that and the aerodynamic shape to point into the wind and stay over an area of operation.
It won't carry humans, but Vestergaard has high hopes for what his HAPS can do when it's equipped with cameras, remote sensing instruments, and a broadband antenna.
Whether that is human trafficking prevention or illegal fishing prevention, ocean conservation, methane leaks monitoring, early detection of wildfire, rural connectivity, there's huge need.
Those are lofty goals, but Vestergaard has a track record for developing life-changing and life-saving technology.
I've built companies in public health, in food security, in safe drinking water.
His company, LifeStraw, developed a water-purifying filter, providing clean drinking water to millions. And mosquito-killing bed nets produced by Vestergaard have helped reduce malaria deaths by more than half.
By May of next year, we will have distributed 1 billion nets, and in the process, seeing global malaria rates go down from 1.3 million people, mainly children, dying every year, to last year less than 500,000.
His newest project also aims to help people in need, this time in need of internet access.
This is meant to help those that are unconnected and underconnected be included in the advantages of a networked world, whether that is education, online banking, online health.
There's a whole lot of Navajo Nation out there.
There's a whole lot of there out there. Yeah.
John Bedell, the founder of Sacred Wind Communications, is working to provide internet access on sparsely populated tribal land in the Southwest.
On the Navajo Reservation itself, in a 3-state area, the availability of broadband is very low. I would estimate it's probably no more than 40%. And even at that 40%, the speeds are not that high.
In tribal meetings, Bedell has heard many stories of the need for connection.
And one grandfather stood up and he said, I don't know what this internet thing is all about, but my grandchildren do. And he says that my grandchildren won't come and visit me on weekends anymore because I don't have internet.
But providing internet access throughout the Navajo Nation's 25,000 square miles is a colossal task.
It would require companies to install 200 to 300 towers. How long would that take? Maybe 10 years or more, and the cost would be enormous.
Enter Mikkel Vestergaard's high-altitude platform station. Sitting at about 65,000 feet over New Mexico, it's designed to deliver broadband internet connection over hundreds of square miles.
He is using a technology that he has come up with himself to reinvent an airship to provide broadband services over wide swaths of the earth. And this can not only be used in New Mexico, of course, it has usefulness worldwide in the third world.
You've done many projects. This seems different. What led you to this project?
Well, it's not all that different because most of what I've done in life has been building companies that have all the same technology platform, essentially, which has been around material science.
This big silver object that looks very metallic and very solid is actually a fabric. So if you take a look at this, it's something that can take shape. You can cut it, and it feels like a piece of paper.
David Kim leads the team of engineers and chemists who developed the fabric that makes the airship possible. I mean, it's light and thin, and yet it can survive at 60,000 feet.
Absolutely. So this is light and thin, but if you take a 1-inch strip of this, it can hold 300 pounds. So if you add that up, that's many, many hundreds of pounds, thousands of pounds that this material can hold.
Do you see a time then when airships like this will be around the Earth in many places, that this will be the standard, replacing what many satellites do today?
I absolutely envision a future where this will be as normal as seeing ships in the port, as normal as seeing cars on the road, and as normal as seeing trains on the tracks.
And as normal as having access to the internet. For CBS Saturday Morning, John Blackstone, Roswell, New Mexico.
There's a track record there. I'm not counting that guy out.
Very cool. Yeah, what they've done with Life Straw and the mosquito nets makes huge differences around the world. But don't call it a blimp.
Don't call it a blimp. But
High altitude platform
like a blimp.
station, which doesn't roll off the tongue.
But you consider 19 million Americans who don't have broadband access, and what kind of education and what kind of resources the internet provides for all these people that he could potentially change one person at a time.
Right, and that grandfather with the grandson that doesn't come visit, there's the personal story to it. That's exactly it.
Great piece.
Yeah.